All right, you were live.
Alright, yo, what's up, guys? I'm Violent Gamer. This is Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. I'm speedrunning the 32 tracks category, which means we're going to play through all 7 cups in the game. Or 8 cups. Yeah, I can math. So I'm going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. But yeah, I'm running on the PS4 version, on PS4 Pro with an SSD for fast loads, obviously. This game, even though I'm using an SSD though, this game still has very slow loads. So we're going to be sitting through a lot of load screens. But yeah, this game is a kart racer, but it's very different from the Mario Kart run you just saw, and I'll explain that as we go on. So this is the first track. It's one of the most basic tracks. I completely missed the shortcut, but that's fine. But as you can see already, the drifting system in this game is way different from Mario Kart. You get 3 mini turbos per drift, and you have to time them with the meter on the bottom right side of the screen. And you want to do as many perfect boosts as you can, like I'm doing right now. And pretty much the more you do mini turbos, the more you build up your reserves. And this game has a whole reserve system. It's a system that you can't visually see. Like, there's no visual indication of how many reserves you have. You just kind of have to take a guess. But what reserves do, they basically allow you to keep your fire up as long as you have reserves. So right now I have Sacred Fire. The way you get Sacred Fire is from driving over turbo pads, those green pads that you see me driving over. And my fire just depleted right there, which means I ran out of reserves. But Sacred Fire makes your base speed go faster, if that makes sense. So the better fire you have, the faster your car goes. So basically, there are different forms of Sacred Fire. Right now, this is the most basic form of Sacred Fire. There's also Blue Fire, which lets you go ridiculously fast, and there are different speeds for Blue Fire. It's kind of confusing, but you guys don't have to worry about that until much later. I'm also playing on easy difficulty because the AI are much easier to deal with. But despite that, this category still has a lot of RNG with items. Unfortunately, there's no item filter, which is one of the things I dislike about the game. One of the few things I dislike is how there's no item filter. Otherwise, this run would be almost consistent. But unfortunately, we have to deal with some dumb item RNG. This is another very basic track. We're just taking a lot of cool cuts. People in my chat, if you guys want to ask me questions, go to the Midwest Speed Fest Twitch channel. You guys can ask me questions there. And if anyone in the Midfest chat have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. But I'm just making some cuts here. Pretty simple. Also, when you're going off-road, it's a good idea to jump as much as you can, because whenever you're not touching the ground, you actually go faster. Off-road, that is. If you are on road, you want to stay on the ground as much as possible. If you're going uphill, though, jumping does make you go uphill faster. There are little optimizations like that you have to keep in mind. Also, I am using the speed engine, which means I get the slowest turning in the game. But the turning stat in this game really doesn't matter, the low turning stat, because by using your brake button, you're able to turn faster. But when you're using the brake button, you have to hold down on the D-pad so your reserves don't get depleted. I have no idea why it's programmed that way, but it is, and we use it to our advantage. So it's pretty nice. And that basically lets us do very sharp turns in the air, lets us do U-turns. Very, very cool tech. It allows us to do some very cool skips as well. This first cup is very, very basic, not a lot of intense strats. Until the last track, that is. We don't start getting blue fire until the track after this. And then it starts getting crazy. But this track is called Assembly Lane. It has a really cool aesthetic. A cool conveyor belt. You can actually get squished on the conveyor belt, so you have to ride on the side. It gets kind of scary because you can fall off pretty easily if you're not careful. But pretty much what I'm doing is keeping reserves up as much as I can. And in this track in particular, it's very important to keep up reserves because there's only one turbo pad at the very end that you can use without losing time. So we have to maintain reserves at least until that turbo pad, which is basically the entire lap. So for me, it's one of the more difficult tracks, even though it's very simple. My favorite food is actually chicken Alfredo pasta. And sometimes, I don't know if you can see it visually on screen, but this game does drop jump inputs in certain areas. Like, in certain areas, it's just impossible to jump. It's consistently impossible to jump. And I don't know why. And it's very annoying when it happens. Also, I did lose my reserves. But in this game, just like in Mario Kart, the power-ups are very similar to how they are in Mario Kart. You have your bowling bombs, which are like green shells. You have missiles that they're kind of like red shells. They're homing, but they don't go around corners. They just go straight towards the other player, so they can crash into walls too. You have potions, which are your bananas of this game. You have the Aku Aku mask, which is star power, pretty much. And in this game, you can get the mask in first place. So later on, you're going to be seeing me cycle through items constantly, so I can get the mask in first place. And basically, there's a chance I'll get the mask, and the mask makes me go faster, which saves a bit of time. It's very RNG dependent, though, so it's not going to happen very often. And at the top right of the screen, you can see that there's a little fruit counter. That's my Wumpa Fruit right there. And when you get 10 Wumpa Fruit, your power-ups get a little boost, and they act very differently. So like right now, I have the green potion, but when I get 10 fruit, it turns it into a red potion. And a red potion stuns the player who gets hit for a longer duration of time. And other items get changed as well. So this is Hyper Spaceway. I have blue fire right now, but this pad gives me even faster blue fire, so now it's going to be even crazier. And memorizing how to go through these portals is very important, so I can do cool skips like that. Also knowing when to jump so you don't get hit by the lasers. And brake turning lets me do these very tight turns right here. It's actually a lot harder than it looks. For whatever reason, that turbo pad right there, before the last one, doesn't actually work. It just boosts you upwards. It's like a little bump in the road, even though it doesn't look like it. I don't know why. But pretty sick track. One of my favorites in the game. Sorry, I'm focusing a bit here, and I hit a wall. Great. That happens. Oh well. Still pretty decent. I only lost about 3 seconds. And that's the first cup. Now we have 3 loading screens we have to sit through. So if there are any donations, we can get them read. Also, these podium animations are random. You can get 3 different kinds of podium animations, and they are 3 different lengths. And the one I just got was the most optimal one. But the longest one loses you 3 seconds. It's really unfortunate. So that was the first cup of the Crash Nitro Kart game. I got brought into this game. This game has every track from Crash Nitro Kart, which was released on PS2 and GBA, as well as all of the tracks from Crash Team Racing from the PS1. So it's a good variety of tracks. And this is the first cup, first CTR cup, Crash Co. I think everyone knows this track. It's literally the first track you play in adventure mode. All you gotta do is build up reserves and cut corners as much as possible. And on the 3rd lap, I'm going to be cycling through items to get a mask. And hopefully keep up my reserves as well to maintain this sacred fire. Sometimes there can be a potion directly in your way there. It's really annoying. Again, I wish there was an item filter, because I would run itemless if that was the case. That's a TNT. Alright, I'm going to cycle through items now. Again, there's a very low chance you'll get a mask, but when you get a mask, it saves a couple seconds. Playing very close to the wall here. That almost hit me. That was very scary. 120 is alright. The fastest I've been able to get is a 119, so not too shabby. Yeah, these load screens are pretty lengthy, even though I have the fastest hardware setup. Hopefully this game comes out on PC and the loads aren't as trash. That would be great. So I'm going to do a pretty cool grass skip here. Actually, yeah, that was not the correct method, but that's fine. This track has an RNG shortcut, which you can only open with certain items, with projectile items. And you can use potions, you can use masks, you can use shields, and you can use bombs. I lost my reserves again. This track is pretty difficult to keep reserves on and to go fast, because it's a very specific strat. Even top players have trouble with the grass shortcut at the very start. That's probably the hardest part of this track. I've spent a lot of time trialing this track, but it's not showing in my gameplay right now. But actually, this isn't too bad since I got optimal RNG. Hey, Blue, thanks for the good luck, man. Guys, Blue is an insane CTR runner. Very talented. 2nd place in any percent. has a better time in this category than I do. Alright, this is Blizzard Bluff, one of my favorite tracks, but also one of my worst tracks. There are two pretty difficult shortcuts. The second shortcut is the most difficult. This one's actually not that bad. You just need reserves built up. But this shortcut, it looks a lot harder. It is a lot harder than it looks right there. There's also this shortcut. But for that second shortcut, you have to come at it at a certain angle. It's very janky. It was actually an unintended... Wow. The reason I didn't make that was because I was too far to the right. In the original, that would have worked, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that shortcut I just did, that was actually an unintended shortcut in the original game, but Beanox, the people who made the remake, decided it would be a good idea to keep it, and I agree. It's really cool. So now it's intended. There's actually a trophy that you get, an achievement for taking that shortcut. Surprised I got 3 out of 3 on the shortcut. The second shortcut, that is. And this is Coco Park. Probably the most basic track in the whole game, aside from Slide Coliseum, which you'll see later. Yeah, there's not really much to say about this track. You just do a bunch of cuts, play close to the turns, I guess. Just do optimal lines, maintain your Sacred Fire. Cool shortcut right there. I'm gonna get 10 Wumpa Fruit. Because if you get a mask and you have 10 Wumpa Fruit, the duration of the mask is longer. So many items. And I ran out of Sacred Fire because I was trying to dodge items. Brilliant. Alright, that was the second cup. There are 6 more to go. Hey, Dweeb Trash. How's it going? I see you, Hypno. And that's the worst podium RNG. So I'm losing 3 seconds. Also, thank you guys for those who donated towards Penta Penguin in the bid war. You guys are awesome. He is the best character in the game, so it's only right that I use him, right? this is Mystery K's. Pretty simple track. I'm gonna play a little safe here and build up some reserves. I did a good boost instead of a perfect there on purpose so I can maintain my reserve. I don't know how to explain it, but if you can visualize it, I was about to run out of reserves, but by doing a good boost, I made sure it didn't run out. If I would have done a perfect boost, it would have... There's a chance it would have taken too long, and my reserves would have ran out before I did the perfect boost. If that makes sense? You guys know what I mean? Just quick maths. Also, I'm trying to avoid those turtles as much as possible, because their hitboxes are pretty janky. Also, lost reserves. Great. Going to jump uphill here. You can actually... sometimes you jump really, really high because of the way jumps are programmed in this game. And you end up clipping through the ceiling. Visually it looks really funny, but doesn't really do anything for you, except potentially mess you up. Oh, okay. I was trying to hit the boost pad, but didn't work out. Dang. And you want to get a sub 2-minute time there, but that was pretty unoptimal because I hit so many walls. By the way, I didn't mention how you can run out of reserves. There are multiple ways to run out of reserves. So you can bump into a wall and it gets rid of all of your reserves. You can hit an item. You can press your brake button without holding down on the D-pad. You can you can bump into invisible collision, and that also gets rid of your reserves. There, so that's pretty much all of the ways. Hopefully the invisible collision doesn't happen, but that's very common on some tracks. But yeah, this is Papu's Pyramid. It's one of the most technically difficult tracks for me, at least. Lap 1 was alright. I wasn't supposed to run out of reserves. I just wasn't doing perfect boost enough. It is hard to play optimally and commentate at the same time. Hope you guys understand. And that spiral is probably the most difficult part of this whole track. Let's see if this was fixed. Alright. There was a glitch in this track where Aku Aku would just pick you up for no reason. In fact, the reason was... Jesus. The reason was the checkpoints in this track were messed up and they weren't placed correctly. So if you did that shortcut a certain way, the game wouldn't register you as passing the checkpoint, and it would make you go back and lose progress. And every kart racer has a checkpoint system to make sure that you don't do crazy skips and cheese the entire track. But this game is known for having a lot of cheese. But it did, most of the cheese did get patched out. But before the patches, there were so many unintended shortcuts, so many glitches. Got completely abused by time trialers. It's not the time trialers' fault by any means. It's the developers' fault. But thankfully they did fix the checkpoints on that track. This is Cortex Castle. It's one of my favorite tracks because of just how fast-paced it is and how technical it is. There's so many tight turns, and at the very fast speed I'm about to go, the fast speed I'm about to get makes it like 5 times harder. You'll see right here. I now have blue fire. I'm gonna take it a little safe just so I don't lose it. Marathon safety is important. But I'm going way faster now. Oh, I lost it anyway. I lost it anyway. It's okay. I won't do the same thing for the 3rd lap, I promise. But with blue fire, you usually end up going faster than you do in Mario Kart. Faster than 200cc, which is very impressive that this game can handle that. And that players are able to handle that speed. It really shows you how amazing the mechanics are to let players do that. Jesus. Oh my god. That was a whole mess, dude. There was so much happening there. Oh my god. Not the best showcase, but at least you guys got to see the potential. Sub 2 is definitely possible. I just lost blue fire halfway through. And I broke my promise, I'm sorry. Yeah, I hate losing blue fire. But there are so many other tracks with blue fire, so you guys will see just how fast you can go. This is Tiny Arena. It looks like a very simple track, but it's actually super difficult to optimize. Because you have so many hills you need to go on. So many turns. And this track in general is just super optimized. I want to go for a sub 3 minute time, which means I have to make very few mistakes. That means I would have to not lose my reserves at all. Oh, and I just did. That's fine. This first lap isn't too terrible. 102 isn't too bad. Alright. Let's redeem myself. Alright, this lap is already way better than the last one. Ah! Again, item filters would be amazing. Yeah, so sub 3 is not happening, especially after that potion hit me. But it is what it is. I can't do... Dude, are you kidding me? I can't do anything about that. There was no way for me to get that off my head. That was just bad luck. Like, that potion that I hit was dodgeable. That TNT, definitely not. There's no way I could have gotten that off my head in time. But this game do be like that. 310. Oof. Very unlucky. Good RG. Good podium RG. Alright, 4th cup. This one's actually pretty cool. All of them are pretty cool. I don't know what I'm saying. All of them are cool. This one is just... It's just as cool as all the other ones. Alright, let me ask you guys a question. Who's your favorite character in the game? There's so many to choose from, but you have to pick one. Spyro. I see. Penta? Dude, you're now my best friend. If you pick Penta, you're automatically my best friend. Crash because you're basic? Dude, Crash is cool, alright? Crash is an underrated character because he's overrated. Does that make sense? Nobody uses Crash because he is overrated, which makes him underrated. Pirate Papu. Dude, I love... Pirate Papu is my second favorite character in the game. For sure. Oh yeah, that was Ruse Tubes, guys. What did you guys think? So probably from here on out, I'm going to treat this run as if I was doing it on my own stream. Because I've explained everything. I've explained everything. I'll explain some shortcuts, but I've explained all the core mechanics and stuff. Now I just have to go fast. That's all I'm doing. I'm just going fast. I'm trying to go fast, that is. Dodging some armadillos. Aviator Crash? Dude, I love Aviator Crash. That shortcut I did is actually a safer version of a harder shortcut that you can do. You can actually... there's a shortcut near the wall, but you have to maneuver through some rocks and cacti to get through it. It's actually very difficult. People who can do that shortcut consistently, I I treat them as gods. Jesus, I almost hit that. Ah, come on. It ate my... I wanted to jump, not drift there. 132 is decent. Fastest I've gone is a 128. I usually get 129s or 130s in runs, so not too bad. But yeah, like I said, this game can get very fast, even faster than 200cc in Mario Kart 8 with certain blue fire. I'm using the DualShock 4, just the regular DualShock 4. Nothing special about my controller setup. Oh yeah, this is one of the hardest tracks in the game, so I'm going to focus. Fantastic. I briefly grazed the wall and it destroyed my speed. This game is punishing like that. Dude, what am I doing? I actually love this track. It's one of my favorite tracks because of how hard it is. I like the difficulty. I'm just bad right now. I have no excuse, guys. There we go. I don't know why my controller is disconnecting. Alright. Let's see if I can do this with Sacred Fire. Yay, I did it! Woohoo! I'm gonna get crushed. No, I'm not. Never mind. $130. Yikes. The fastest you can get there is like... let me think. I think it's like a 115. Might be actually faster than that. But I usually get 118s. Yeah, I am a bit rusty. I'm still playing fairly decently. I am a little bit rusty though. If you guys don't know, my name is Violin Gamer for a reason. Or ViolinSR on Twitch, I guess. It's because I play the violin. I play violin more than I play video games right now. So I've been focused a lot on music. So I haven't had as much time as I would like to play this game. Still though, I have a lot of muscle memory from this game. Still beat Oxide's Ghost? I mean, I'm gonna do that every single track, no matter what. Oxide is easy to beat. But yeah, even with Rust, you can still play very well in this game. If you have the muscle memory. And I've been playing CTR since probably 2001, when I was 3 years old. So I have so many years of muscle memory built up. And if you've played the original, muscle memory does carry over into the remake, which is very nice. But Beanox made some very good core mechanics. Mostly. There are some issues, but mostly feels like the original. And that was a very good sewer speedway. By the way, Blue, we should race sometime. Ah, bad RNG again. Great. Alright, this is my favorite cup in the game because that's 3 blue fire tracks in a row. And they are all very fun to play and to watch. You guys are in for a treat right now. Wait, what is VGM Con? I actually don't know what VGM Con is. It sounds very interesting. Video game music? Dude. Okay, I thought it stood for video game music, but I wasn't sure. I don't know how I haven't heard of it, because I am a video game music artist. I make, if you guys don't know, I make violin covers of video game music. So I'm very surprised I didn't hear about that. Also, I missed a very easy shortcut. I'm sorry. No, I would love to go, but I'm broke. I have to go to MagFest because I'm speedrunning Mario vs. Donkey Kong there. I'm pretty sure I did Mario vs. Donkey Kong for was it? I think it was Midwinter Speed Sprinter, was it? Or Mid-Spring? No, it was Mid-Spring Speed Fling, right? I don't remember. It was one of those. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I'm running Mario vs. DK at MagFast, and I'm going to a GDQ for fun. It's the last GDQ I'm going to. After that, last GDQ I'm going to purely for fun, because after that I have to save money. I would love to go to a video game music convention though. Technically I am going to MagFest, but I don't know how long I'm going to be there. Oh, that's sick. Dude, I totally need to go. I'm gonna write that down later. Sounds really fun. I would gladly bring my violin. That was Polar Pass. Very fast track. I did a huge skip at the end there, as you guys saw. Dude, imagine if I did a speedrun there and played violin there. That'd be great. I've been playing violin for about 11 or 12 years. One of those two. If you guys want to know what my violin playing sounds like, I do have music on Spotify or YouTube. You can find me by Google search probably. I make covers from Crash games, from Zelda games, Kingdom Hearts, Mario, Sonic, a bunch of other games. Recently I've been doing Pokemon covers because there's a lot of Pokemon hype right now. Also, this is a very fast-paced track, and I have to focus. By the way, I've been loving Sword and Shield. I got Sword, and it's really fun. I played through almost 9 hours of it. It's great. Ah, that sucks. That's fine. There are two places where I can get blue fire, so I don't have to worry too much about losing it. How dare you? Wow. Oh my god. I feel like I have the worst luck compared to anyone else in this game. I just get destroyed by AI. Alright, this is Hot Air Skyway. People like to call this the Rainbow Road of CTR, which I would somewhat agree to. But this track is fast. You go fast. You'll see that right now. I'm gonna do a lot of scary skips. Just gonna hop over this wall like a badass. That was I almost died there. Alright. Sorry if I'm a little quiet. I do have to focus a lot here. Ah, excuse me, game. What do you mean? Alright, that was still pretty decent. You guys got to see everything I wanted to show you. What did you miss? Not much. Not much. Just some very cool tracks. And this is the most basic track in the whole game. After those 3 super hype tracks, it gets followed by this. It's just anticlimactic. There are no turbo pads on this track at all. So your only way of getting Sacred Fire is to get is to hope to the RNG gods and get a mini turbo power up and then get 10 Wumpa Fruit to juice it up. And that gets you Sacred Fire. The chance of that is like, I don't know. I don't even know. It's very low. This is my least favorite track in the whole game, if you guys aren't aware. Online is fun to play though, because no one knows how to do the grass cuts. So I just end up lapping people online on the most basic track in the game. Ah, okay. That's fine. And I am about halfway done now. Actually, I'm more than halfway done, because the other tracks are actually much faster. No, I did not win a tournament. I played in a tournament, but I got knocked out round 1 because there was so much competition. There are some very amazing players who are better than me. Also, I was very rusty in my defense. Alright, this is Android Alley. Has a very cool dystopian futuristic aesthetic. And there are a lot of turbo pads here, which means we don't have to worry too much about losing Sacred Fire because we can get it back pretty easily. Only thing we have to worry about is item RNG and the giant bullet train that's driving around the track. If you get hit by the bullet train, it loses you at least 5 seconds, if not more. So, alright guys, let me ask you, what is your favorite track in the game? For those of you who have played this game, what is your favorite track? I will judge you harshly. Also, people in my stream, please go over to Midwest Speed Fest, because that's what I'm speed running for right now. I'm not going to be reading. I'm not gonna be responding to my own chat. I'm only gonna be responding to their chat. It's only fair. We're trying to raise money for charity. Laguna. What is that? Is that a Spanish name for a certain track in this? I don't know. I only know the English names. Alright, so this is Tiny Temple. It is the fastest track in the game in terms of speed, like how fast your cart goes. At the end of the track there will be a blue fire pad. And it'll make me go super fast. You guys will see. Alright, right here is where it's going to be crazy. Cool skip right here. Oh. That was almost a disaster. But that was very good. Dry lake. Trying to think, what would dry lake be in this game? Because there's no track called Dry Lake. Oh, maybe Dingo Canyon? I don't know. No, it wouldn't be Dingo Canyon. Not too sure. This is Thunderstruck. It's one of the hardest tracks in the game, and you will see why. It has some first of all, it has a lot of obstacles. On top of that, you have to deal with item RG, and there are some very tough skips and tough turns once you get blue fire. And I'm going to be going for some scary strats. First, there's this one here. I'm actually dodging an invisible death plane. This part's not too bad. Here, there's a tight turn coming up. Right there. And now I'm about to do a very precise skip. Let's see if I can get it. Wow. Okay. Whatever. Sometimes you can hit that. It's annoying. But that was my fault. I should have been more to the left. I will go for it again. Lap 3. There we go. Oh, okay. That's cool. Rip my speed. Yeah, I don't know, man. Some design choices are very questionable, for sure. And this is actually a pretty basic track. No blue fire this time. Just some cool aesthetics. You got a giant robot here holding a boulder, which you can activate by hitting the switch crate. I'm not doing that though, because there's no reason to. Some ice physics. Ah. I actually knew that boulder was coming because they always hit it on lap 3. So I had to move out of the way. And that wasn't too bad. Alright, we have 2 cups left. I think. So this track is Jungle Boogie. It's very basic, but it's very fun. The music is great. In general, this is a pretty fun track to play. Very short. That's fine. Ooh, I almost got hit. That wasn't too bad. Formula racing? I don't know what formula racing is. Alright, next is deep sea driving. This track is ridiculous, to say the least. You guys will see why. There are some ridiculous obstacles coming up. I don't know what the devs were thinking. The original devs who made this. I don't know what they were thinking. Oh, I thought I could make that. Oh well. As you can see, it's pretty... Oh, what the heck? That was weird. Some of the physics in this game are pretty janky, but yeah, as you can see, it's pretty ridiculous how there's so many blades to dodge. Hey, I got a lap 2 out of 3, so I'll take it. Not too shabby. Alright, this is out of time. It's a very tricky track for many reasons. We have very tricky shortcuts like that one. I'm actually very bad at it. Keeping up reserves is fairly difficult because of how tight just how narrow the roads are in certain sections of the track. Like right here. But coming up here is a blue fire pad, and I'm gonna have to go through all of that with ridiculously high speed. So let's see if I can pull this off somehow. So far, so good. Ah, dude. That was just a good case of the game eating my inputs. I normally have an input viewer on screen. And if I had it on screen, you guys would see that it did eat my jump input. By the way, again, people in my chat, please go over to Midwest Speedfest on Twitch, and I'll answer all your questions there. I'm not ignoring you, I promise. And this is my favorite track in the game, and I'm gonna do a very cool swag strat right now. So yeah, basically you can do a cool 360 there. And this is my favorite track because of just how fun it is to play on. It visually looks very appealing. Music is great, fits the theme, and there are cool shortcuts like that. And playing against good players makes it even more fun. Plus you have blue fire, and this is the fastest form of blue fire, I believe. And this track looks way different from how it looked in the original. The original was pretty dull, honestly. But this game is so vibrant. And I'm glad they made it this way. Ooh, I finally got a mask after all this time. Finally. No, this is my favorite track in the entire remake. And as you guys can tell, I do go a lot faster with the mask. Also, that shield came in clutch right now. Whoops. Another mask? Double mask? What? That has never happened to me. Three masks? You're kidding me. Where were all these masks when I needed them? What? Someone needs to clip that. Hey, guys in my chat, please go to Midwest Speedfest on Twitch, and I'll answer all of your questions there. I'm currently doing a marathon run, a charity marathon run, which you guys should donate to. It's a good cause. That was ridiculous. 3 masks on one track. I've never done that in my life. I haven't gotten 2. Yeah, I haven't even gotten 2 masks before. on the same track. And now I get 3. Yeah, this is the last cup. Oh my god, I got the glitch. So, there's a glitch that can happen where you can select the very last cup, but the game shows you that you've selected the last cup, but it doesn't register that you've selected the last cup, and instead you still end up choosing the first cup. It's very annoying, and it's what happens when you select the last cup too quickly. Like visually, the game shows you visually that you've selected the last cup, but in all actuality you didn't. You just get jebaited. Alright, so this is Clockwork Wumpa. One of my favorite tracks in the game. It's actually very difficult. It has blue fire near the end. You have to maintain it through all of these type paths and not hit any of the obstacles, which there are a lot of. So it's a very fun track to play once you're very good at it. Hopefully I can show off how good I am on this track. Intended shortcut here. And blue fire here. And now I'm going way faster. That was very good. That was very good. I'm proud of that. I think this is Oxide Station now. Pretty sure it's Oxide Station. Oxide Station is my second favorite track in the whole game. It just gets crazy when you get blue fire. You'll see. It's really fun to play at a high level. And before the last cup got added through a patch, because there have been some DLC tracks that released, and they decided to combine Clockwork Wumpa, Oxide Station, and 2 of the DLC tracks into a new cup. But before then, Oxide Station was actually not in any cup, so we never went. Dang it! I lost blue fire. I was too focused on the explanation and not the gameplay. I'm sorry. But anyway, when we used to play all cups, or now it's known as 28 tracks, back when we played all cups, we couldn't play Oxide Station because it wasn't part of any cup. which was very unfortunate. It upsetted me because it's one of my favorite tracks. Alright, let's see if I can show off Blue Fire correctly this time. Oh, dude, I almost did the same exact thing. Yeah, as you guys can see, it's really fast. For some reason, you always lose Blue Fire there, and then it just comes back. I don't know why. Oh my god, that potion. That would have been miserable. Oh my god, collisions. Alright, third lap was good, second lap was trash. First lap was good. But you guys got to see a full lap with Blue Fire, and that's all that really matters to me. Alright, and this is Twilight Tour, one of the DLC tracks. It's based on the Arabian and Egyptian levels from Crash 3, which is pretty cool. And you get Blue Fire here. Makes the track really fun. So now I have Blue Fire. I'm going to take this shortcut right here. Pretty simple to do. And I'm going to go up here for even faster Blue Fire. And now I am zooming. Gonna collect some fruit in case I get a mask. I don't have to hit that pad again because I already have fast Blue Fire. Oh, that's a shame. I wasn't boosting around enough. That's okay, it's just a minor time loss. Alright, cool. And there's one track left. It's one of my least favorite tracks in the game. So the last track is based around the dinosaur levels in Crash 3. And this track, it's called Prehistoric Playground, but this track is it's very bad because it has a lot of invisible collision that you can hit. Hopefully I don't hit any of it. But there is a blue fire pad at the very start. And hopefully I can maintain blue fire throughout the whole track. Shortcut right here. And I lost blue fire. Perfect. It's going very amazingly so far. Shortcut right here. I'm gonna get blue fire from that pad, but it's a slower version of blue fire. This pad right here gives me faster blue fire. So let's see if I can maintain it this time. Oh, that potion. That potion was hard to see because it blended into the dinosaur's tail. Alright, time is coming up shortly when I cross the finish line. And time. Let's see what time I get. $1:27.55. Alright. Timer's still going, but that's fine. Well, let me see if that beats my PB. Probably not. I doubt it. Yeah, it's about 3 minutes slower than my PB. So not too bad, actually. Not too bad. It was a pretty good showcase. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see more CTR from me, you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/ViolinSR. But yeah, thank you so much, Midwest Speed Fest, for having me. And I look forward to running in future events. And next up is Sonic R. Thank you.